everybody, I'm Jerry Paul and I'm an indie author, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about being a disabled author. I've talked about this on my blog, talked about it before on the channel, and because videos with a disability focus seem to do so well with you guys, I thought I would talk about what it's like to be a disabled author, my 5 things that have had an impact on me. So number 1, personal info is demanded. This is one of the downsides of being disabled in the public eye. People get curious and they often demand that they be told what's wrong with you. I avoided it for a long time, but eventually, after getting the question so much, I did a whole video about it. I know of other Authortubers who have had to do the same, and it's not just limited to online stuff. I've had it at cons as well, and it's just awkward. It is something you have to get used to, because for a lot of people, they don't see it as rude. I mean, I could tell you stories about the times I've been asked for private and personal stuff just because I happen to be disabled in public, but that's around for another video. The reason I mention it here is twofold. Maybe it helps educate some people who don't realise how rude they're being, or don't understand why disabled people don't really want to be asked the same question over and over. The other reason is that it's not always a bad thing. I've met so many other disabled writers and authors because I've been open about my conditions. I've also met some amazing people who have become close friends because we shared not the disability itself, but the experience. I can name a few, like Dausa Saruno, a fellow Authortuber who connected with me through Twitter before she made her channel. She and I clicked on so many levels and I adore her work. Being able to connect with people with disabilities is one of the positive sides of being online. I mean, there are a ton more, but being a disabled author also allows me to show that a disability doesn't mean that you can't be published. And I know I'm not the only one. There are loads of us, some a lot more successful than me, and it's through being able to read their stories that I've become okay with both being disabled and being visibly disabled in the public sphere on places like Authortube. Number 2, access is an issue. As you all know, I've done 4 cons and plan to do more in the future. I want to preface this by saying that every single convention I've done, the organisers have been excellent at making sure I have everything I need. But it's not just outside spaces, it's online too. I know I'm not the best at including image descriptions on my Instagram feed. I try to do it on my blog, but I don't always manage. I would also say that I do captions on all my YouTube videos and have done since the beginning, but not many people do in the Authortube sphere. I know Taybuggy does, and Lizelle does, I think Marcus does as well, but most people rely on captions, which are the auto-generated ones. It makes it hard for me to watch because I have hearing issues. So while it's not always an issue and I have been able to join the community in a lot of ways, there are others that are kind of cut off from me. Like writing in a cafe, it's great if I have the time and the place has access, but the majority of the time I'm just writing at home because I know I won't have the space and access I need to work. I'm realising now that I sound quite bitter about things, and I'm not really. It's more that some of these points are things other people don't think about, so I've got to be me and point them out. Number 3, writing every day equals no spoons. For those unaware, a spoonie is someone with a chronic illness who identifies with the spoons theory, which I've linked below. The bare basics. A spoon represents the energy required to do one thing. Every spoonie has limited spoons in their day, and something big will cost more, and it's all about finding that balance. So you might not be surprised that one of the biggest pieces of writing advice that grinds my gears is the whole write every day. Some people can do that. They don't write massively amounts every day, but they have to write every day because of having a full-time job and only grabbing an hour here and there to write. I have no problem with people doing it if it works for them. But so often it's parroted as the only advice that makes you a valid author, and that's just crap. I can't write every day. I don't have the spoons for it. Am I still a writer? Hell yes. As is anyone else who struggles with doing it every day, spoonie or not. One thing I've had to work through was working every single day is not sustainable. You are a human being and you will need breaks. As someone that is pretty productive and also disabled, I have struggled with the idea that I have to be super productive to be valid. And I feel like that's something that gets spread a lot in writing circles and on Authortube. So let me make it clear. You work to your own ability and you are valid. You are a writer if you write, you are an author if you're published through whichever route, and not being able to write every day is okay. It's just about taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and that's not a bad thing. Number 4, self-care comes in many forms. For a long time, as I've just said, I've struggled with taking time off because I heard all over the internet about how I needed to be on the go all the time. It's really only been the last year or so since I started doing bi-monthly goals, so about 2 years now, that I've insisted on having at least one day off every month. Since the beginning of the year, with health stuffs and all, I've cut down my writing to the point where I have usually about 3 days off a month. And that's my way of taking care of myself. It's my way of making sure that I don't burn out. But self-care does come in many forms. It was during Nano 2019 and watching Tay Buggy's daily vlogs that I really started to learn what self-care means to me. I'm unable to leave the house often, but I do make sure to do things like getting my hair done, although not during the plague, or settling for a day of YouTube and reading, or just doing something fun for the day that isn't work related, because I've been close to burnout and I don't want to end up back there. So along the way of my writing journey and my author journey, I picked up a few things that work for me. My biggest problem was a lot of self-care things were things I either couldn't do or had no interest in doing. So part of getting better at taking care of myself was finding things that worked for me, like a lazy afternoon in bed, or watching a TV show or film I love, or going out for a drink with my mum. All these kind of things worked. It's okay to take your time to find what works for you and then take the breaks you need. And number 5, every experience is different. This video might seem like it's a little off the wall, a bit disjointed and a bit out there, but there was a reason for doing it. I wanted to highlight that while the majority of my experiences as a disabled author have been positive, there are some hurdles. There are some issues that I've faced because of my disability. I don't want to make a video as a way to start drama, nor is it a way to ask for sympathy, but just to show people that every author experience is different. Even those with the same or similar disabilities will have a different experience. And that's okay, because everyone should be allowed to experience this author life in their own way. In August, I hit my 15th authorversary, and I did a video about it then, which I will link up in the cards. But when I look back at the past 15 years with almost 18 books published, I do so happy for the experience, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So I'm thanking you all for coming along the ride with me and basically giving you some ideas about what it's like to be disabled. So there we have it. Those are my 5 things that I really stick in my mind when I think about being a disabled author. I know some of them might have seemed a bit complainy and a bit ranty, but you know, I'm just being honest. So for those other disabled authors out there, what's something that really sticks in your mind from your experience? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're not disabled, are there any questions you have for me? Also, let me know down below. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like, or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. And don't forget to pre-order Cramping Chronicles The First Twinge. And if you do pre-order, don't forget to grab the swag. All the links for which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.